What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? The patch has been out for about a day now, patch 1.11. This is the very first balance patch we've got for Dragon Ball FighterZ, and people have been finding out some cool tech. Base Goku and base Vegeta are so much fun, actually. I love the fact that they're both actually amongst the more creative DLC, considering the fact that they're kind of like copies of, well, they are copies for the most part of, existing characters. They have their own unique attributes. They're actually some of the most unique in terms of their combo structures and the things you could do. But I want to talk about this patch overall. I'm going to skim through this. I do have my issues with it. I love some of the buffs they did, but some of the characters did not get buffed enough, and I'm going to talk about that once we get to it. But first, I want to talk about the modes here, and the thing that I love the most. You guys saw me complaining about this during the Road to King Kai, that network color will no longer be displayed on finding an opponent. This is huge, all right? You guys know, I've not been able to record many Road to King Kais because one, finding a match takes a while, but when you do find a match, people who are pink and orange will almost always duck you. And it seems like it's the green and yellow ranks and the lower rank people who are trying to get better, that are just willing to fight. But I don't want to make an episode for you guys who are just trying to watch me play against lower level people or people who just started. They'll kick my ass in a few months. So I'll go through this. I like the fact that there's input delay settings when playing against a player. Like, you can add that now. But let's just go straight into the characters. I'll just quickly skim through some of the ones that I think are good. Obviously, Piccolo's on the top of the list, where they increase the hit stun and the recovery frame. So I think so. This pretty much means it's just going to be easier to combo into, and this was a problem with actually a lot of assists, guys, in this game. A few that they've actually fixed, one of them being Beerus's, is the fact that you had to just react way too fast to be able to combo off of it. I think that's a pretty good buff for Piccolo, and that's a good place to start. Because as everyone else is kind of getting nerfed, which we'll get to, characters like Piccolo might shine a lot more than you think. Okay, Teen Gohan. Very cool. The crouching special. So what this means is it's pretty much what it says is that now you can move in the air after performing the move and match the landing recovery frame with a jumping down special. So this means that after doing his bomb, his down S, it's not actually called the bomb, but everyone calls them the bomb loops. You could pretty much do an air action after it. So now you can dash forward, I believe dash back. I think that means double jump. I have not tried it for myself, but I have seen some videos on Twitter and some of the tech that people have been sharing. Overall, really good. What this means, just to put this in a scenario for you guys, let's say you do a basic combo with Teen Gohan, and as you come down, you can call an assist and then set up a bomb just to kind of keep your opponent in place as they're waking up, and then dash forward and go for a mix-up. So huge for Teen Gohan, and he's already such a damaging character. The problem with Teen Gohan is just his neutral is so hard to play, and I think this might help in the long run. So jumping down special expanded the hitbox in the beginning of the attack, so also meaning that bomb loops are going to be easier to do. We'll go through quicker. We got Frieza. Now Frieza, some really awesome changes specifically with Golden Frieza. Right now people are finding loops online, and they are just discovering some really, really awesome stuff. And it's just the exact creativity that Frieza needed, actually. Just seeing some of the corner loops and the long combo extensions. It's the fear that I think people needed of Frieza. Frieza's combo extensions were never too great. The one thing, though, that is my issue is I feel like they could have still made the Z assist better. And sure, they increased the hit stun, that's great, but it's still a really weird assist to use with a lot of characters because it hits so far. I think that it would have been cool if they played around with either moving it a little closer or bringing back the tracking and then maybe bringing the hit stun back to what it was instead of increasing it. But I don't know. Still, I just feel like Frieza's so being developed as an anchor character right now. But he's just missing the assist. Ginyu will quickly go by. You can now combo from crouching heavy into your standing special. Very cool. And they just increased the hit stun of his Z assist as well. and the reduce the block stun of using it when you're not in assist mode. So that's pretty solid changes. Not too much for Ginyu. I think Ginyu's already a fairly high tier character. I know you guys are probably like, Bear, you crazy. This is Ginyu top, but Ginyu, I called it where I said that at Evo there was going to be some good Ginyu players, and I think Aqua made top 16 at Evo, which is pretty legit. There's no hit at top 16 or top 32 from what I know. So not too much to Trunks from what I saw. Kind of grazed past his changes. I don't know. Just obviously a few hit stun increases for his Z assist. That's pretty good. I feel like Trunks does have a pretty amazing assist for combo extensions. It's a little underappreciated, I feel. Just a bit. But maybe Trunks will get better also with just the fact that everyone else is going to get a little bit worse. And, you know, there are players using Trunks still, which I'm happy about. Okay, Cell. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big one. I know this video is a bit of a discussion, but this is exactly what I wanted it to be. I've been playing around with a lot of these, and the fact that it's been out for a day, and a lot of people are finding out even new applications of everything. Sonic Fox said that he thinks because of these changes, and I'll go through them in a second, that Cell is now just going to be high tier, which I think is true. I still think he has potential to still be at the very top, but definitely the normals feel a lot slower, especially the jumping medium. When I went into the training room with Cell, that's the first thing that I really felt right away. Obviously, the standing light and the crouching light, I believe, are slower. Yeah, there you go. They increased the startup frame. So pretty big changes. Another one that's not huge because it was kind of cheesy was the rolling crush. It doesn't really hit behind him anymore. And for whatever reason, they give you the ability, which I guess is a buff, give you the ability to actually control the rolling crush's momentum. So you can either go backwards or forwards. You don't really go backwards, but you either just move very little or move a lot. So overall, yeah, Cell felt different, ladies and gentlemen. Cell felt very, very different. I still love the character to death. I told you guys he's like my favorite Dragon Ball character, but it kind of sucks. It got to a point where you just got no respect for playing the character, and I did feel like a little bit of a scumbag for playing him. And but I love him, man. I really love Cell. Okay, Android 18. Some good changes. The one that stood out to me, there's actually a few here. The standing light and crouching light, you can now repeatedly whiff the move by pressing back at the same time. Actually, a lot of characters have this, but I don't know what it means by whiffing because I didn't try this out. But with a lot of characters like Goichi, you see him with Vegeta actually press back light 2 times just so you can actually do the same animation twice. So with Vegeta, you get this double jab. And that really helps with hit confirming. It helps with sometimes better range than your crouching light. So it's actually a cool thing to have for 18. But to really, the one that really stood out to me was the reducing the startup frame of the back grapple, which is the command grab for 18. That's going to be pretty good. I don't know how big it is. Obviously, even if you tried an application in online matches, you don't really know until you start seeing the real top players utilize this stuff. But I really wish these patch notes were just a bit more like specific. Does that make sense? I'm not asking for too much. Just because I wish there was some frame data instead of us having to go try this and having to apply PC mods to figure this stuff out. Okay, Gotenks, a character that I was really scared that was on this list in general. Gotenks, very good character, very good anchor, very good support, and amazing on his own. But a few nerfs, actually. I know there's a few, like 1 or 2 buffs here, yeah. So like reducing the recovery frame. Actually, I don't know if there are. I think there is. But the one that really stood out to me, I know like you can't really do the missile barrage kind of brainlessly anymore, which is kind of good. I felt like a lot of Gotenks players were just going ham with the Beyblade mode. But the one that stuck out to me the most was the recovery frames on performing a feint. This was a huge part of Gotenks' kind of mix-up game. It was actually kind of hard to react to unless you knew it was coming. Then you could like 2H it, but you pretty much had to mash. So that was that's a pretty big nerf, I think. So in terms of his offense, but he's still going to be a solid support, I feel. Even though they did kind of, I don't know, botch a few things just slightly. But Gotenks will still be fine. I'm going to skip past Crillon because I didn't understand what was great about Crillon before, but some of the stuff looks pretty good. I mean, there's some, I guess this was a nerf, but it's pretty good that Solar Flare is adding invincibility to jump attacks. And that's kind of the story with this patch. There's going to be one or two that's going to show up. There's quite a lot of added invincibility to airborne attacks. And I don't know if that's because the developers are not liking this meta where everyone's just instant air dashing and empty jump lowing and all that stuff. So I guess they're trying to find more ways of messing with people while they're airborne. So yeah, I mean, we'll talk. I think Android 16 had something too. Okay, Kid Buu probably got nerfed harder than Cell in my opinion. Pretty big, and because I've played Kid Buu and I learned Kid Buu, this kind of was not shocking. Like I think Kid Buu will still be okay, but the crouching medium, the increased startup, and increased this damage scaling when using this move as a combo starter, that's pretty huge. Because a lot of characters get the most amount of damage when they punish with like a 2M, a crouching M, sorry. I'm talking in a real nerd mode. But with a crouching M is how you get most of your damage. So just what I've seen, like it kind of adds to the overall damage loss even when you optimize this combo is kind of crappy. His crouching special, increasing the land recovery frame. So this is kind of big too. This was a huge part of his mix-up game, right? With Kid Buu to whiff the crouch special and kind of go for a mix-up. So now that the fact that there's landing lag on it means that going for the empty jump low or empty down S low, he pretty much throws one fireball. You can make it do two. The empty mix-up is a lot less scary. And that's pretty big. The other huge nerf was the Mystic Ball attack. This was his little rolling crush. You can no longer cross up with it in the corner. A lot of the dirtiest mix-ups in the game were from Kid Buu. And the ability to do that, and that's pretty huge. You're just going to have to be a lot more honest with Kid Buu. But still, I mean, the assist didn't get nerfed as much as I thought. I mean, it didn't get nerfed at all. Nothing changed to it. So that's really huge. I mean, that still keeps it to be one of the best lockdown assist, I would say. Mystic Arm Swing added invincibility to jump attacks, just like we were talking about. The story stays alive when it comes to just the beating out the jumping attacks. Okay, Majin Buu. Oh my goodness. Minor changes, but really scary changes. The biggest one, I would say, is the standing light. Now the fact that standing light is going to be able to hit crouching opponents, ladies and gentlemen. I was so worried about this character. Not a lot of people play him, but Majin Buu is top tier. I've always said, you guys can even go back to my old episode of Road to Kinkai when the game first came out, that Majin Buu is a good character. And he turned out to be a damn great character because people learned how to optimize and get damage off of Majin Buu, because that was the big complaint earlier on. But Majin Buu's got damage. You just got to learn the right combos. And this is really big. And the second attack of the standing light, which is the auto combo, they reduce the startup frame, which is the low. So it's even a faster low. Small changes. You guys would look at this and be like, oh, this is just three things. But two of these three things are huge. They're really, really big and really worry me. Okay. Nappa. Another problem. God. Goodness gracious. I'll go through the next few much faster. I'm sorry. I got a vent here, guys. This is our discussion. This is good. Okay, overall, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining here. I'm actually quite happy about this. Majin Buu, I'm a little bit more worried about, but I think it'll be fine. Don't get me wrong. But Nappa, I think, deserved these buffs, and Nappa is going to be a real threat. They did kind of nerf Cyberman a little bit because it would have been a little bit too good. But what this means is that Nappa now has 3 low attacks, ladies and gentlemen. Standing light is now a low. Crouching medium is now a low. And Nappa's standing medium used to be his only low. That is 3 lows, all right? And the fact that his special move hits high. This is super scary, ladies and gentlemen, all right? Nappa is very well going to come into competitive play. It might not be in the first few tournaments, but you best believe that there's going to be some players that are going to... I mean, there's already some players who are amazing with Nappa, but those players are going to be even scarier. And I think that's awesome. I love Nappa, to be honest with you. I love the fact that he's in the game. But damn, am I afraid to fight Nappa players. I'm going to... whenever I see this character on the... when I'm playing online or something, or if I'm in a tournament, I'm going to fear for sure. Okay, Android 16, not huge nerfs, but definitely gonna screw over his standing light pressure. Pretty much, it's reducing the startup frame of the third attack, which is the grab, and you can no longer delay the attack after the second standing light. So you can't really react to your opponent and continue the attack, whether or not they're... It's a good change, whether or not they're just sitting there. And it might also screw over some vanish combos, but I'm not sure about that. But overall, a pretty big, not a big adjustment, but something that I think Android 16 players will be fine. Everything else was buffs, though. The thing we were talking about, the ground flying power bomb added invincibility to jump attacks. Ground flying power bomb heavy version increased the duration of invincibility to jump attacks. So, really good buffs. You can't... I'm worried, actually, because a lot of times when, 16 players put you in certain situations, you're going to really need to read the text really well now. And the texts are going to be in favor in Android 16 because the trick with Android 16 before, a lot of time, used to be to mash light whenever you got out of an air tech. Because if you mash light, you were able to beat the ground flying power bomb. And now the fact that there's more invincibility... That's really scary. This is a bigger buff than people think, and they're brushing past it. And then, obviously, the heavy version. The ground dynamic driver is just increased a bit of damage, which I think is fine. Yamcha, huge change for the Neo Wolf Fang Fist to be changed to give you a wall bounce. That's a pretty damn big buff. And it's going to give... just give him more combo potential. I think that's all Yamcha needed. I think Yamcha's already at a pretty good place because Yamcha provides probably one of the best assists in the entire game. So that's a good change for now. Tien got changed more than I thought. Pretty much all buffs, except I guess this could be considered a nerf because the self damage is reduced, meaning I think you do less damage when the self damage is reduced. This is the only character they really gave a new animation with it. Well, I don't know if it's a new animation, but they pretty much just gave a new kind of visual change, which was the fact that Tien, will bring out a copy of himself when he does the ground volley, which is pretty cool, but not a huge change. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. We're going into this slowly. I'm sorry. I'll wrap this up faster, but we're getting to the big changes, so don't go anywhere. Hit. We're talking about hit. And I was really hoping for way more buffs than this. Standing Light's third attack expanded the hitbox upward. This is really nice for the fact you no longer have to delay the third hit to combo into the auto combo. If all you hit players know what I mean. After you do the air slashes in the corner, you can bring them down. Once they come down, you pretty much can go for a light auto combo. Before, you used to have to delay the third attack, and it was actually quite It wasn't tight, but definitely depended on the size of the character you were going up against. But now you no longer have to do that. A nice change. This was a nice change as well. Crouching light, which is the overhead, command overhead. You can't get a combo off of it. You can now cancel the second standing light into crouching light. So meaning if you do the second hit of an auto combo, you can actually cancel into it later. I wish that the crouching light was, I wish you were able to combo into it. Or not combo, I wish you were able to cancel into it from like a standing medium or a crouching medium. Not a huge change. Obviously, I didn't expect this move to get buffed too much, but maybe a little bit more damage. I think it does about 700 right now, which is kind of suspect considering you let the opponent go after you do it. So you give up all pressure for 700 damage. Tides of Time, heavy version now enters the invincibility state faster. I mean, cool. A nice little plus. Not going to be a game changer. And the death blow fixed so that the camera angle won't change in the latter part of the combo on hitting an opponent with this move. And that's it. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. I was really hoping for Hit to get just a little bit of a faster crouching medium. Maybe not one as fast as everyone else. I don't even think that if he had one as fast as everyone else, I don't think he would be broken. I think he would definitely be more in the tier of like adult Gohan and what they're trying to accomplish for these characters. I don't think this is enough to make Hit high tier. It's going to help him. But if I had to guess, I think he's still going to stay at low tier. Super Saiyan God Goku, I'm just going to brush these guys. Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and Goku pretty much just got buffed. Almost in every way. So good on that. I think they needed it. And we'll go to Beerus. The next point of why I'm not super proud and happy of this patch. I just felt like there could have been bigger changes. And don't get me wrong, I'm grateful. I'm happy that the standing light is now fast as everything else. I think it's 6 frames now. And the hitbox makes sense. All right? I'm not going to say it's amazing, but it makes sense. Crouching light reduced the startup of that, so that's Beerus's low. I love this change. This is one of my favorite changes, and I never even asked for this, but it's something I wanted to add in my video when I did my how to buff Beerus video. You guys should go check it out because I feel like Bandai Namco still needs to check it out. So this is really nice. Before, Beerus's assist would almost never reach the opponent. And you're almost never able to like combo after it. With this change, I was able to put Hit and Beerus on the same team. I know you guys like, Bear, why would you ever do that? You're like, you might as well punch yourself in the dick. But if I ever wanted to play Beerus and Hit at the same time, this really helps. And the fact that now they kind of move upward after you hit with the assist, really nice. And they fix the hitbox too. Quite a bit. So that's what I just went through there. The ground sphere of destruction, Beerus floats a little higher when pressing down. Yeah, it's just small changes. I mean, this was good. The fact that you were able to cancel the sphere of destruction so that if someone like super dashes on you, you can cancel into your reversal. Still not good enough. Not good enough. I mean, you'll still see the Beerus players stay loyal. But we needed a bigger change than this, and I was hoping for a bigger change than this. Like, at least more hit stun on the Sphere of Destruction. Just a little bit more hit stun. But it is cool that they changed the way the opponent is blown away. I'm complaining. So, Android 21 got a few buffs, a few nerfs. They shrank the hitbox of the crouching medium. I guess they were not a fan of people starting the rounds with a touch of death and just being able to reach people right away at the start of the round. So I'm a fan of that, but they seem like they really buffed everything else. I mean, I think increasing the hit stun of these Z assists is actually really nice. Increase the hit stun of the total detonation bomb. So just increase the hit stun all around. Android 21 players can't really ask for too much. Like you got more added invincibility to jump attacks on the aerial connoisseur. So overall, like some really solid buffs. But Android 21 is a character you got to be really careful with, and I think that they played it right with her. And then just see where it goes from there, and then maybe buff again more. because I felt like she was mid-high tier. I would put her around there. Okay, Bardock. Biggest nerf was probably the Rebellion Spear, the increased... which one was it actually? I mean, decreased block stun, obviously, Rebellion Spear is huge. But which one was it? Sorry. Okay, there you go. The ground Rebellion Spear, the medium one. Increased landing recovery frame. Huge for the level 3 mix-ups. If anyone saw Evo, you know we saw that level 3, Bardock's level 3 like 1,000 times because the setup after it is so good. And increasing the landing recovery frame is going to really take a part of that mix-up portion out. Specifically the empty jump low. So that's a pretty big change, I would say. And obviously this was just brain dead. I mean, if I was in charge, I would have nerfed Bardock's auto combo as well, just so that it isn't so brain dead. Just so that people had to actually react if they're mashing light. I think right now it's still a little brain dead. Broly had some solid changes. I mean, Broly can set up base Goku's level 3 right now with just his level 1, so it's pretty cool. I liked some of the changes to Broly. They could have done a little bit more. Again, I feel like they were trying to play a little too safe. And I don't know. Not a huge fan of that. Wait, didn't we see Super Saiyan Vegeta? Did they have him up here twice? Whoops. Oh, this is Vegito. Sorry, I read it wrong. Vegito, a character I was a little worried. I'm happy that they didn't give him that low. I think some people were thinking that he might get the low crouching light, but that overall would have been so bad. So it's good. I'm glad the barrier enters invincibility state faster and increased the entire recovery frame on hit. So on whiff, sorry. So I guess if you whiff it, I guess you have more recovery time. But the ground atomic buster, again, added invincibility to jump attacks. This has been the whole theme of this patch. I feel like they think that people are just jumping too much, which is cool. But overall, just small buffs here. And overall, a good look for Vegito. I think the character's still being figured out more and more. It's just opening people up with him is rough, but his combo potential is just so good that if he was able to open people up easily, he'd be the best character. You know, I think everyone would play Vegito because that combo potential is there, the meter gain is there. So some of these changes are good. Definitely, it's cool to see people use some of the less used attacks. Okay, so Fusamasu, the last thing we'll go through here. We're almost running at 30 minutes, but we're talking, man. This is the chat. This is what I wanted to do with you guys. So jumping light, expanded hitbox forward. I love this. Zamasu's biggest weakness as a character is his ability to, I guess he could do it, but it's just he doesn't get much off of it. And that's just pressuring people while they're in the air. Because he can't 2H people when he's in the air, it's a pretty big weakness, so you kind of have to burn bar to get things right away. The way Sonic Fox has been playing Zamasu has been amazing. Big nerf here is shrunk the front part of the hurt box. Not the hurt box. Sorry, it's the increase the projectile speed. Now this seems like a buff, but it's actually a bit of a nerf, and I think that's might be directly to what Sonic Fox has been doing. Or I think a bunch of other people were doing where Zamasu's assist was really good at covering wake up. So, for example, Sonic Fox used to put people on a situation where on their opponent's wake up, he would go for a command grab and then call Zamasu at that time. So if the opponent kind of sit there, did nothing, they would eat the command grab, but if they were to jump, they would have to eat the Zamasu assist, and then Android 16 would recover in time. Obviously, I'm sure you could do that with other characters, and I think by speeding it up, you can no longer really set up situations like that, like situations where you just can't get out of. So I kind of look at that as kind of a nerf, to be honest with you. But everything else is pretty good. They're just shrinking hurt boxes, reduce the startup frame, so But I think the increased projectile speed is actually a bit of a nerf. But we'll see. We'll see. I might be talking out of my ass, but I'm pretty sure. I'm right. Right? You guys think? Overall, guys, a solid patch. Not impressed. I was hoping for a little bit more. I think the coolest part about this patch is base Goku and base Vegeta just being so much fun. But overall, I'm not complaining. This is the best fighting game to come out in the last 6, 7 damn years. So, Bandai Namco, you guys are freaking killing it, man. This game it puts a smile on my face to this day anytime I turn it on. But what I want to hear is from you guys. Let me know what you guys think overall. What happened to your characters? Did your characters get buffed? Did they get nerfed? Do you have a new team because of this patch? I was going to go to a new team anyway, but I was really hoping to play Beerus and hit together. But I don't think that's going to work this patch. I think that I would just be torturing myself. You guys are the best if you guys have got to this part of the video. And if you guys made it all the way through, let me know because you guys are the best. And give this video a like because it helps me out a lot. I love you. I'll see you in a bit. And we're going to have a live stream real soon.